Welcome to Reinventing Broadcast, where AI meets content. Hosted by Ben Anchor. Let's dive in.
I want to start with a moment you probably saw, even if you did not realize you were being taught something by it. Last spring, the French president steps to the open door of his plane after landing in Hanoi. A pair of arms in red sleeves reaches out of the doorway and shoves him in the face. It is his wife. It is playful, or it is awkward, depending on which corner of the internet you were standing in. And within hours, the more interesting thing happened. People online started saying the clip was not real, that it was AI. For a brief window, even the official line seemed to wave it away as something artificial. Before the palace confirmed, yes, that genuinely happened. They were just joking around before the trip. Now hold on to that shape, because it is the whole episode. The danger we keep being warned about is fake footage that fools us. The danger that actually arrived is real footage that gets dismissed as fake.
That is a neat reversal, but let us not skip the obvious worry. The thing everyone is frightened of is the convincing fake, the fabricated clip of a leader declaring war, the cloned voice of a chief executive moving money. Are you really telling me that is the smaller problem?
I am telling you, they are two faces of one coin, and the coin is trust. Let me give you the honest scale of it first, because this is the stretch where the line genuinely got crossed. Images went photorealistic a while ago. We all made our peace with that. Text crossed next. The machines hold a conversation, now that you cannot reliably clock as a machine. And the one people underestimated, audio, has just caught up. Voice cloning has gone past what the researchers politely call the indistinguishable threshold. Give a model somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds of someone speaking, and it returns a voice that breathes, hesitates, carries emotion, gets the rhythm right. One forecast at the end of last year put it bluntly, that this would be the year you personally get fooled by a deepfake. And music sits right alongside it. The head of the Recording Academy said late last year that essentially every songwriter and producer he knows has now used generative tools. This is not a fringe anymore. It is the flaw.
Then the answer is detection, surely. If the fakes are this good, we build better detectors. Fight the machine with a machine.
That is the instinct, and it is a trap. Detection is an arms race you are structurally guaranteed to lose. Every detector you build becomes free training data for the next generator that wants to slip past it. You are always one step behind, and worse, you are asking an exhausted newsroom to run a forensic lab on every frame that comes in. So the serious people stopped asking the losing question. They stopped asking, is this fake? They started asking a question you can actually answer. Where did this come from? That flip from detection to provenance is the single most important idea in this whole field, and I can tell you exactly when it clicked for me. About a year ago, at Amazon's Media and Entertainment Symposium here in the UK, people I actually know were manning the stand, and they walked me through this thing in proper detail, not a slide, the real mechanics. I left that room thinking the whole industry had been arguing about the wrong question.
Provenance. So instead of interrogating the picture, you interrogate its history. How does that work without just being another label that anyone can fake?
This is where the standard comes in. It is called C2PA, the Content Authenticity Work, and what most people see is the consumer name, content credentials. The idea is almost old-fashioned. When a piece of media is created, the device or the software wraps it in a small sealed record. Who made it? With what? When?
I can already hear the hole in it. The moment that file hits a social platform, the platform strips the metadata, re-encodes the video, throws away everything you just described, so your beautiful sealed record dies on first contact with the real internet.
You have put your finger exactly on the flaw that nearly killed the idea early on. And it is the part of the story that has genuinely moved in the last year. Two answers. First, durability. The newer versions tie the credential to the pixels and the audio using a robust watermark, so even if a platform strips the visible record, the link survives cropping, resizing, a re-encode, and you can fetch the full history back from the cloud. The provenance stops being a sticky note and becomes part of the grain of the thing. Second, and this is the one that matters for our trade specifically, the standard Learn to Handle Live. The late 2025 revision extended signing to live streaming segment by segment in the formats broadcasters actually push. So this is no longer just a way to certify a still photograph after the fact. You can sign a live feed as it goes out.
Give me the proof it is real adoption and not a coalition press release. Who has actually shipped this?
Fair test. On capture, Samsung put it in the Galaxy S25, the first major phone to sign photographs in hardware at the moment they are taken. Google followed in the Pixel line. On the professional side, Canon pushed firmware onto its top mirrorless bodies last summer, the R1 and the R5 Mark II among them, and Sony has shipped a broadcast camera that signs at source. On the other end, where people actually look, LinkedIn shows a little credentials icon you can click to see an image's history. TikTok adopted it for labeling AI content at consumer scale, and YouTube and Meta are surfacing it too. So the rails exist now from the lens all the way to the feed. They are thin in places, but they exist.
Come back to your opening though, because I do not think the cameras solve it. Take the president on the plane. If a bad actor can simply strip a credential and shout deepfake at anything inconvenient, then Provenance has not closed the door. It has just given liars a more sophisticated excuse.
This is the deepest point in the episode, so let me be careful. What you are describing has a name, the liar's dividend. The profit a liar earns from the mere fact that fakes now exist. Real audio surfaces, the politician calls it AI. Genuine body camera footage appears, the defendant's lawyer calls it synthetic. It has already happened in courtrooms, with lawyers trying to wave away real statements as possible deepfakes, and you are right that Provenance does not magically defeat that on its own. But it changes the board. Go back to the plane. If that camera had signed the file at the moment of capture, the argument is over in minutes, not days. There is a sealed, verifiable record that says this came from this device at this time, unedited. The liar can still lie, but now the lie has to survive a check that anyone can run, and the absence of any credential slowly starts to mean something too. Over time, the unsigned clip becomes the suspicious one. That is the cultural shift. We stop asking footage to prove it is fake and start expecting important footage to prove where it is from.
And the regulators, are they going to force this or sit and watch?
They are moving and the date is close. Under the European rules, the transparency obligations for AI-generated content land this coming August. In plain terms, providers will have to mark synthetic output in a machine-readable way, and anyone deploying a deepfake will have to disclose that it is artificial. There is a carve-out so that obvious satire and art do not get strangled, but the direction is set. Machine-readable marking is exactly the language Provenance speaks. So the law and the standard are converging on the same idea from two directions, and broadcasters sit right at the choke point, because we are the ones who take raw material in from the world and hand it to the public with our name on it.
Then make it concrete for the person running a newsroom or a post house. What do they actually do on Monday morning? Not in theory.
3 things, and none of them are exotic. 1. Sign at the source. If you are buying cameras or phones for fieldwork, Provenance support is now a line on the spec sheet. Treat it like you treat lens quality. 2. Do not break the chain in the middle. Your editing and your playout should preserve and extend the credential, not flatten it. And that is a question to put to every vendor in your pipeline right now. 3. Decide what you show the audience. The credential is only worth anything if the viewer can see it and learn to look for it. So the little Provenance marker needs to become as normal on screen as a copyright line. The deeper move is a change of mindset. For a century, our entire industry ran on chain of custody for anything that mattered, the tape, the rushes, the source. We let that discipline get sloppy in the digital scramble. Provenance is just that old discipline, rebuilt for a world where the fakes are finally as good as the real thing.
So the headline is not that we learn to spot the fakes. It is that we go back to proving where things come from.
That is it, exactly. We spent 2 years asking the wrong question, is it real? The grown-up question, the one our trade was always built to answer, is where is it from, and can you show me? Provenance does not give us certainty, nothing will, but it gives us something we can hand to an audience and defend in daylight. And in a year when a voice can be cloned in 10 seconds and a president can call a true clip fake, being able to show your working is not a nice to have, it is the job.
Thanks for listening to Reinventing Broadcast. Subscribe for more on AI content and the future of media. And visit ancast.tv for more info on Ben himself, the resources, other content, and news.